Alright, welcome back to another video. Today we're actually in my shed, as you can see. It's first day of Labor Day weekend and it's raining outside. So instead of working on the boat, which I've been having some trouble with, which we'll go over whenever that video does come out, I'm going to work on the motorcycle. This is a 2007 Yamaha D-Star 1300, and as you can see, the paint has all come off the gas tank. It's been repainted at least once or twice. So in this video I'm going to try to take this tank off and then take it over to the other shop and see about making it all one color. Alright, there's two bolts on the back. I got those loose. The tank is loose. Now I've got this connector, which I assume is for a sending unit, and then a couple of hoses to take off. I'm going to try my best not to spill a bunch of gas everywhere because there is gas in the tank. So we'll get the gas can out and try to get the hoses off in such a way not to make a mess. I got the tank off. There were these two vent lines here, and either the feed or the return, I'm not sure which one that is, but got all that unhooked, spilled some gas on the floor, but that's okay. Got the tank out here. Been trying to drain it, but it's kind of a two-handed operation, so I couldn't film it, so just holding this hose here over that gas can. So we'll get the rest of this drained out, and then we'll see if we can go sand this down and paint it all one color. Alright, we're over here at the other shop now. Working on the front of this tank here. This is where it was leaking some gas out, which I knew about. Then I got down here a little further, which you couldn't see because the handlebars were in the way, but there's a giant hole in the gas tank there, so that's not ideal. And that was also leaking gas and making this bubble. Plus there's like a 1/4 of an inch of Bondo in there, so all that's going to have to be cleaned out also. Alright, I got my grinder out here and I ground down where the damage was, and I found a lot more damage. There's just a lot of dents up here in the front of the tank. Not ideal, but that's okay. So I'm going to bring this back to here and see, because there's still some low spots here that I can see, and we're going to see how much more damage is up on this corner of the tank. Phil Swift would say, that's a lot of damage. So I guess we'll just keep stripping this thing down and see how bad it gets, and maybe we'll paint it up till it looks like a golf ball, because it already has plenty of dents in it. All right, I got the tank pretty much all stripped down. Didn't record it because it's kind of like what you saw at first, just more of it. This side, the left side of the tank, doesn't have hardly any damage on it. It's got one little dent right there that was right underneath the V-Star emblem, which that's not a big deal. This side is just caved in all down the side of the tank, so not real sure. Probably just have to Bondo back over that, but probably not add as much, because they had about an eighth to a quarter of an inch above the flat part of the tank. If you know, like once they filled this, they put another quarter inch on top, so probably put some Bondo back on it, not near as much, and try to make this look halfway decent. But the first thing I've got to do is come up here on the front, and I'm going to JB weld or get some of that gas tank stuff that you can use on these to fill up. There's a hole here and there's a little crack right here, because I can't have it leaking gas if I'm going to try to put paint back on it. So that'll be the next step. Got me some JB quick weld. Gonna mix it up on this piece of cardboard. We're gonna slather it all over this hole here and this crack here. So we'll get started on that now. Okay, we got our JB weld on here. It's pretty much dry. While that continues to cure, I'm going to start laying in a little bit of Bondo in these big low spots down here to try to build them up. So hopefully we can have this whole thing kind of ready soon-ish. Okay, we got our second coat of Bondo on there. We're just doing real thin coats to try to end up with a much less Bondo than they had before. So it's looking better, getting there. So we'll let this one dry up and sand it off and see how it looks after 2 coats. All right, got the second coat on, sanded it down. Still a couple low spots here, a couple up here, but it's looking good, and there's still not half an inch of Bondo on it, so we're doing better than it was before. So we're going to try to fill in a couple more of these little spots and then work on this big mess up here on the front. All right, we got what we think is our last coat of Bondo on. It's pretty smooth. The front's looking good. This side just had a couple little low spots. I think that'll cover. So we'll get this sanded down, and then if there's any pinholes, we've got some of that lightweight stuff that should fill the pinholes up pretty good, make it nice and smooth for primer. All right, we brought it inside so we could spray some primer on it. We put etching primer down first. This is high build primer to try to get rid of some sanding scratches. But so far it's looking pretty good, other than the color, but obviously that's going to change. So we'll finish putting another couple coats on here, however many coats we can get out of the can. And then we'll come back in the morning and sand this down a little bit and figure out what color we're going to paint it. Alright, it's the next morning. Camera was dead, so you didn't get to see me sand this down. It actually smoothed out better than I thought it would. There's a couple little spots on it, but not real worried about it. The part we worked on up here that was all caved in actually looks really good. I'm actually kind of surprised. So I've got some paint picked out for it, so I'm going to get this back inside, get it cleaned off, get all the dust off of it, and then we'll get started painting. tank is painted. We'll get this home and put it on the bike and see how it looks. Alright, it looks pretty good on there. Obviously it doesn't match all the red, so now we'll be painting all the rest of it, but that's going to do it for this video. If you like this sort of thing, let me know, and I might film some more of the painting process on this bike, because we'll end up doing the chrome and stuff will all be probably done a different color. So yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.